into trending topics we go.
All right, here we go. Nehawu, and of course, this week-long strike now, and it has turned ugly in certain instances. And as we said, the issue here is, of course, there are valid grievances that are being raised by the unions. That is not in question. Park. Intimidating those who choose not to participate, not on.
Yeah.
And also, you know, I know that some of the leaders came out and said that this was not the case, you know, they hadn't intimidated anybody. Maybe this is the case in some certain instances at certain places, but there have been definite reports of intimidation in other places. Pelanomi Hospital earlier in the week, there were workers who actually were removed from the hospital who were on duty trying to take care of some of the people in ICU and those sort of centers that need care because they literally cannot do anything for themselves. Hospital staff was removed as per the reports. And also there was the incident in Durban, I think it is, where a child was critically ill. There was emergency services trying to get the child through. After a struggle, they eventually did, but then they couldn't leave the facility. So, and I think this is where the public starts to turn and sympathy starts to wane for the strike. But there's no doubt that some of the issues that they've put on the table are valid.
Very much so. I mean, we can't downplay the issues. We really can't. However, when lives are at stake, and that brings us to our next trending topic, that's Joe Pachla, that's the minister. I mean, the minister basically admitting that 4 lives have been lost due to the strike action that we know of. I mean, there may be more. We don't know at this point, but that's what the minister has admitted to. And a number of protesting workers have been shot with rubber bullets. There's been absolute and utter devastation with what appears to be no end in sight. That's the reality with all of this. And the industrial action seems to be intensifying. But you know, the loss of lives are never, ever, ever acceptable under conditions like this. It's just devastating. Yeah. And the families of those that have lost their lives, obviously we don't know details of the 4 that the minister has mentioned, but now who's liable for that? I mean, is it Nehawu? Is it the government? Is it the hospital? Is it the what happens? This is now where the complications come in. You know, when you get into a sector like health workers and healthcare, you choose the mandate to save lives and to work with people and to help people. And I understand when you have issues, but to let somebody die on your watch.
I think the minister actually alluded to that yesterday. And it is something that will have to be spelled out more explicitly in legislation. But the minister did touch on that aspect as well yesterday. So it is, of course, ongoing. And government hasn't covered itself in glory in terms of how they've dealt with the public sector wage negotiations. So they will have to accept some responsibility for how all of this is played out as well.
All right, okay, that's the first 2 and very emotive trends there. They really are if you dig deeper into them. Gwede, okay, so I mean, this is the whole issue of coal and power, and Minister Gwede Mantashe speaking at the Africa Energy Indaba, and of course this was a few days ago, so this didn't happen yesterday. I mean, this happened, I think, at the beginning of the Tuesday or so. Go for it. I know that this is your, you love this.
It's been ongoing, see, because people are now unpacking what Gwede Mantashe had to say, and many people agree with him and many people disagree. And it's all about the whole issue around renewables. It's the energy mix for South Africa, stabilizing the grid. As you can see there, I think these were protesters from Greenpeace, you know, making their points heard. At some point, security tried to move in and remove them, and Gwede said, no, they want attention, leave them, let them stand there. So they were there throughout his speech. And but the point is, you know, it's all about this energy mix. And there's, of course, a lobby for we need to move to renewables immediately. And of course, Gwede Mantashe says we need to be more pragmatic about how we approach this.
Indeed. All right, so still the whole energy debate happening there, and Gwede's name being thrown about. Then the final one is I think it's Mohale. Yeah, just one sentence. I mean, I think it's a quick one, but it is a big trending topic. Somizi Mhlongo withdraws his case against Mohale Motaung in the Johannesburg court orders him to pay Mohale's legal fees. That's the whole thing in it. So remember that Somizi wanted to go to court after Mohale put a whole bunch of accusations out there about abuse and all of this in their marriage. But the reality is that Somizi has withdrawn that. He has to pay Mohale's legal fees, and it would no longer go to a court of law where they can air their dirty laundry.
Indeed. All right. Let's leave that there.